Hi, I'm Sarah Cowgill, along with Andrew Moran, Jim Fite, Scott Cosenza, and Mark Angelides. And this is the Conservative Five, Liberty Nation's online TV news program. One South Carolina Democrat was recently caught plotting and scheming on the phone with her confidant. The talk was about sleeper cells. The plan was to have Democrats run for local elections as Republicans. Confidant is a prison inmate. The schemer is a U.S. Senate candidate, and you cannot make this stuff up. You got to thank Project Veritas for keeping the Democrats on the defensive. And this leaked conversation has tongues wagging all over social media. Mark, give us the details. I'm sure it's kind of disturbing, but we're ready for it.
It is kind of disturbing, but the grander scheme of things is even more so. So the basic details are Crystal Matthews, a Democrat U.S. Senate candidate who will now be facing Tim Scott in November. She was speaking to a prisoner who is a confidant of hers and discussed what we need to do is get Democrat people on our side into the Republican Party, and then we can, and I quote, wreak havoc. Beyond that, she also said a lot of stuff about she wanted the duffel bags full of dope money to be pushed into her campaign because other Black people were not supporting her campaign enough. But for me, that's not even the big deal. The big deal from what I'm seeing in this thing is that not that she wants sleepers to come into place, but that the Democratic Party is supporting Republican candidates in all these primaries across the nation. They're spending literally tens of millions of dollars, and they're not even quiet about it. And what they're hoping to do is put enough money into primary campaigns to get what they consider the more unappealing candidate to win their primaries, and therefore will face their candidate in November. And this whole thing, it's a big money scheme, as I say, tens of millions of dollars flooding into Republican candidate coffers from the Democrats. But of course, they're not trying to subvert democracy. They're just trying to save themselves a couple of bucks further down the line.
Can I make a clarification point?
Please. Every
person of every color has a duffel bag full of money if they deal drugs. It's not, I don't understand why she would single out.
Specifically, she was saying that Black people weren't donating enough to her campaign. Okay. She herself is Black.
Okay, I wanted to clarify that.
There's actually another clarification to make, which was, Mark, you went pretty quick there. You said that she wanted people to join the Republican Party. What she wanted was people to run as Republicans, as Manchurian candidates that had basically to defraud both every member of the Republican Party and then voters. So it's even a bit worse than that. And the drug issue is sort of like right out of the wire, duffel bags full of campaign cash. Why aren't they coming my way is her lament.
You kind of gotta feel like this is a little peek behind the curtain. Like she said a little bit too much that she wasn't supposed to say.
Saying the quiet part out loud, right?
Yeah, that's
Who doesn't know they're being recorded on a prison
parts.
Conversation? Who doesn't know they're being recorded?
It's not that she didn't know she was being recorded. It's that she didn't care.
That's right, Mark.
This came out literally just 2 days before her Senate Democrat primary. And lo and behold, how many major news outlets ran the story that she was inviting offers of campaign donations from dope dealers, or that she was planning on putting sleepers to subvert democracy? How many of the major papers, how many of the major websites of the left-leaning variety do you think ran that story, even though it was everywhere? How many? Exactly, Sarah. There was zero people willing to cover that story. And then she won the primary. And I think what's going to happen here is, sure, her competitor in the Democratic primary will not be willing to drag this kind of stuff up, at least not at that late stage in the game, because it was only 48 hours before people got to the ballots. But Tim Scott, he's a canny operator, and he is going to do everything he can to hold on to his Senate seat come November. And there's no way that recording is not going to feature very, very highly in almost every single campaign ad he runs.
Andrew, look at it from your little lofty perch in Canada, a little at a distance. Is this something that is going on or has been going on or is going to continue to go on? I mean, it's kind of It's the lowest of low.
Well, I'll let you into the inside of Canadian politics. A few years ago, Andrew Scheer, he was running for the Conservative Party of Canada, and then Maxime Bernier was supposed to be the top contender. What happened was you had dairy farmers and proponents of supply chain management. They actually bought Conservative memberships, and they supported Andrew Scheer because he was in favor of supply management, and they all voted for Andrew Scheer. And lo and behold, he became the Conservative Party nominee. So even this type of shady practices happens up here in good old Canada. When it happened down south, I mean, of course not. I'm not shocked at all because the political process seems so toxic nowadays in the United States. But I think that's only because we have more social media, more technology. I'm quite confident that this was normal even back during the in the 19th century. So it's not surprising at all. And one thing too, Graham, when he covered the story, he made an excellent point in the very first article talking about the quality of people running for office is dreadful. But it's not only the quality of people running. I think it's just the entire system giving these. Who cares about these candidates? It's just, everything is terrible right now about U.S. politics, but we're so entrenched in it because it's like a soap opera. It's so dramatic, or as Scott said, Manchurian candidate style politics.
I have to confess I didn't see this specific thing coming, but I can't say I'm shocked. I mean, the Democratic Party in general and progressive ideology, these are they're a party and ideology of insurgency. That whole sneaky step-by-step thing, that's their modus operandi and has always been. I mean, it's a mindset issue. For the far left, it's the ends always justify the means, and so there's no such thing as wrong or bad or unethical.
Yeah, I think we see a lot of things happening with the candidates once they fall from media grace, and we see that what was behind the curtain all along. So, for example, the gubernatorial candidate for Florida for the Democratic Party, Andrew Gillum, and his recent fall from grace, within 30,000 votes of becoming the governor of Florida. And just a week ago, I believe he was indicted on a number of fraud charges. And this comes not long after he was found unconscious with male prostitute and drugs, unresponsive in a motel room. And so once the media shield drops because they're no longer useful to the left and that their modus operandi, as you say, once that shield drops, it all comes out. So I'm seeing it very hard how they're going to keep protecting Crystal Matthews, the South Carolina Senate candidate.
Let me just add, if I might, to that point that that Mark makes about Andrew Gillum is the malfeasance and the crimes that Gillum is accused of perpetrating against the people of Florida and the United States occurred while he was mayor of Tallahassee, before he even embarked on his statewide gubernatorial campaign, which I think just goes to say that he was a favored candidate of Obama, a young black man. And if the people of America want a press that is robust and inquisitory and challenging, they have to vote for Republicans, rather, because Democrats don't get an inquisitive look by the mainstream big box media. We do it, but the larger outlets of the world, who we need to do it, actually, we really do depend on a level of scrutiny of these candidates that they can bring to the table that they seem to refuse to for progressive reasons.
Do they just believe that the ends justify the means? I mean, I guess, and I'm sure it happens on both sides of the aisle. I'm not saying, singling out the Democratic Party, but this is egregious. There's schemes and cheats and all sorts of stuff going on, but it's not about, you really can't be that person and ascend to the highest offices in the land and expect people to think that's a good thing.
I don't know. It seems to be working so far.
I mean, you have to think though.
You might be right.
You have to think though. I mean, it's amazing how people are confident that they can run in politics if they have such a shady past, or or these iniquitous acts that they conduct. Considering how especially if you're Republican, as Scott said, how everyone is willing to just pounce on one thing, or say, or have a third party sources saying, oh, but Joe's mother's chauffeurs, dry cleaners said this about this Republican candidate, so it must be true, as we've recently seen with Donald Trump and the the limousine. But also one more thing that Scott said about Republicans. One of our correspondents, Caroline, she remarked by saying, "Oh, Donald Trump is the most open president in the United States history," and that's true because the media have dived completely into the past of Donald Trump and trying to find every little thing. So yeah, so Scott's right. I mean, if you want a clean Congress, you should perhaps vote on that side.
I was just going to say, we didn't find everything out about Donald Trump before he became president, as we didn't know that he had the skills of Jason Bourne.
Only in confined spaces. Out in the open, you
gosh.
can't walk.
Oh my gosh. All right. That's enough. Okay. Well, as if we didn't already know it, American politics sure has a dark side in today's world. Wow. Thanks, panel. That's it for our Conservative 5 panel today. Check out our other C5 shows and segments on your favorite video platform, YouTube, Vimeo, Rumble. We're on them all. As well, Liberty Nation has its own Roku channel where you can see all of our TV productions. Thanks for tuning in, and remember to surf on over to libertynation.com. Join us on the Member Zone, just $17.76 for the year. Special thanks to our fantastic editor and post coordinator, Frank Diorio. I'm Sarah Cowgill. Thanks for joining us today. This has been a production of libertynation.com, where truth is making a comeback.